All right, now we're going to talk about how can we solve multiplication and division word problems that have integers in them. Okay, so we have our success criteria. It's the same that we've been working on with anytime we do a word problem, we want to do word problem breakdown where we're underlining the question, highlighting clue words, circling numbers, boxing in important information. We're going to use that to write our multiplication or division problem. Make a plan. So are you going to multiply or divide? And then is your answer positive or negative? Solve the problem. Interpret the solution. And this is, I think most people have been struggling with the make a plan and interpret the solution. Interpret the solution means, okay, now I have a number. What does that number answer? How does that number answer my actual question? So you'll want to pay attention to the examples in here. And then this word per. This is an important operational word that you'll see. So per actually means for every or each. And that word per tells us to multiply. So it tells us we're going to multiply. So most commonly you probably recognize it in like miles per hour. So that's how many miles you can go for every hour or for each hour. Okay. All right, so let's get right into our first example. Do some word problem breakdown. It says you are going down an elevator at a rate, so a speed, of -7 meters per second. And there's that per. So I'm going -7, and that word per means to multiply. And I'm multiplying 7 times the number of seconds. Now my goal is, do I have a number I can plug in for seconds? We need to keep going. What is your location? So that's our question. What is your location with respect to the Earth's surface after 12 seconds? So because this 12 goes with seconds, I can replace it up here. So -7 meters per second means for every 1 second, but I want to know if I went 12 seconds, how far will I be? So I have a -7 times 12 seconds. So this is why word problem breakdown is so important, so that we can see this information up here and write it into an equation and expression problem. So what is my plan? Well, I know I'm going to multiply. And I know that my rule says anytime I have one of each, I have a negative and a positive, my answer is always negative. So because I'm saying my answer is negative, I'm going to put it there right now. And then I'm going to actually multiply. What is 7 times 12? And 7 times 12 is 84. This interpret part, this is important. So what does this -84 tell me? According to my problem, what does -84 tell me? Well, my question says, what is your location with respect to the Earth's surface? So this means I am 84 meters below, and that below is because it was negative, so 84 meters below the Earth's surface. And this is what it means when it says to interpret your answer. So I'm 84 meters below the Earth's surface. All right, let's look at the second one. We are digging a hole, so holes are being dug down, at a speed of -20 inches per minute. So I'm going down 20 inches every minute. So every minute I can go 20 inches. My question, how long will it take? So because it's asking me how long, I already know I'm not going to know my minutes. Okay? How long will it take to dig a hole 140 inches deep? So I know my total, but I don't know how many minutes it's going to take me. So if I know how deep I want to dig it, I can split that up into groups of -20, and each group represents a minute. So if I go a total of 140 inches, and I want to split that up into groups of 20 inches, I know I'm going to divide. I have 2 negatives, and my rule says anytime I have 2 of the same sign, my answer is positive. So that's my plan. Divide with a positive answer. And now I'm going to look at this. So I got to divide. How many times can 20 go into 140? Well, I know 20 goes into 100 5 times. So 100, 20, 40. So my solution is 7. Okay, what does that 7 mean? Well, it says, how long will it take? In my label for time on this one is minutes. So it will take 7 minutes. So after 7 minutes, you will have dug 140 inches down. All right, good job. Go ahead and flip that page. Again, at any time, you can pull up the blank notes and have them copied down ahead of time from watching the video so that you can fill them in, or you can pause and fill in along the way on your own piece of paper. That is fine. So it says Jake is hiking down, so he's going down a mountain at a speed of a negative 15 feet per minute. So it's negative 15 because he's going down. So we're going down 15 feet per minute. My question, how far has he traveled after 8 minutes? So I'm going to multiply. This is negative 15 times number of minutes. Well, over here it tells me how many minutes we're going to spend, so I know that I can actually do a multiplication problem. So I'm going to have negative 15 times 8 because we're going to do it for 8 minutes. So my plan is that I'm going to multiply. I have a negative and a positive, so I know my answer is negative. So I'm going to put that there right now. And I'm going to actually multiply 15 times 8. And when I multiply 15 times 8, I get 120. Okay, what does negative 120 mean according to this problem? Well, my question says, how far has he traveled? Well, it's a negative 120, so he has gone 120 feet down, and that down represents that negative, the mountain. So that's how we would interpret that answer. 120 feet down the mountain. All right, our last example. You are trying to reach a mining spot located 300 feet underground. So if it's 300 feet underground, that represents a negative 300 because it's underground. If you are descending into the mine at a rate of negative 5 feet per second, so I'm going down 5 feet every second. So if I plug in the number of seconds I spent, I'll find my distance. My question says, how long will it take? How long will it, that should say, take you to reach your destination? Well, because my question says, how long will it take, I know that I can't do this multiplication problem. Because I can't do this multiplication problem, I know that I can do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. So I can take my total distance and divide it up into my smaller groups of distance. So I'm going to take my total distance of 300, and I'm going to divide it into groups of 5. So they're both negative. My plan is that I'm going to divide, but because I have two negative numbers, I know my answer is going to be positive. And now I'm going to say, okay, how many times can 5 go into 300? Well, I know 5 goes into 100 20 times. So if I do 20, 40, 60, so 100, 200, 300, then I know that it goes 60 times. Interpret that answer. Well, it says, how long will it take? So I know it's going to take 60. It's going to take 60 what? 60 seconds. So it will take 60 seconds. And yes, 60 seconds is also a minute. I left it seconds because that's what it was talking about in the problem. So please make sure you're watching the videos, rewinding them when you need to. Make sure you're copying down these notes. You guys have a test this week. So please make sure that you are preparing for that. Thank you.